Hey guys, welcome to Crawl Unchained for some more Path of Titans. Today's video will be the full breakdown of my latest Juvi to Adult video, which I think we can all agree was more of a movie, maybe even the first of its kind. Based on the feedback I received, I decided to remove the long intros and outros from my videos and instead make a full breakdown of the movie in a separate video. So here's what we'll be covering in this breakdown. I'll answer some of the questions I got in the comments section of the video. I'll share my thoughts on the Metri based on the experience I had. I'll also share some fun facts as well as some dirty secrets that were revealed to me thanks to the replay tool. And then I'll show some behind the scenes stuff that I think might be interesting for you guys to see. Big warning. This video will contain major spoilers from the movie, so please, if you still haven't watched the full episode, go watch it before watching the breakdown. Consider yourself warned. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. So let's start with your questions right away. Now this first one here is not quite a question, but still kind of is, and I still felt like confirming that yes, this video took days upon days of editing. So here, this might give you a little bit of an idea of the process that I had to go through to make that movie. So every time I would press record on OBS, I would also press record on the replay tool. And then when everything was done, everything was fully recorded, I came back and then I watched all of these. And I also renamed them, for example, here, Juvi 1, Juvi 2, Juvi 4, Juvi 5. That's because Juvi 3, there was nothing good going on there, so I cut it out. And then, so this process helped me not get lost in all of this footage. Now, every file that you see here, I have an OBS file named the exact same thing, so I can associate both files. And then, so if I was working on, for example, Adult 5 with the OBS file in the editor, then whenever I wanted to record clips from the Adult 5 fights or events that occurred, I knew exactly where to go in the replay tool. So this is a process I had to go through. Yes, it was very time consuming, but I mean, you guys have seen the end result. I think it's super worth it, and the feedback I got was overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, I will go through this again for sure in the near future. Next question: how long did this take me to record and edit? Well, the short answer is it took me the full month of January. The long answer is I grew the dinosaur in the span of a full weekend. So during the first weekend of January, I started early on the Saturday and finished late on the Sunday. Once I had all that footage, I had to sort everything out, go through everything and decide what to keep and what to delete. Then I went through the whole renaming process. Then I would load the OBS file in the editor and go through it, decide which parts I wanted to keep in the movie. Then I would go into the associated replay tool file and find those same parts, and then I would replay those same scenes multiple times and record them from different angles. Then I would take all that footage and create a new folder for it and name it something relevant to the scene itself. Then go through all that footage in the editor once again and decide which angles were the best ones. Repeat that process for each scene until it was finished. The longest scene took me 4 days to edit, and there were several others that took 2 or 3 days as well. The fight scenes were definitely the most difficult because the action is constantly moving, so the folders that contained the replay tool footage from the fight scenes would contain about 4 to 5 times more files than everything else. Hopefully this answers your question. Next question: was I recording the whole time or just when something interesting happened? For this movie, I was recording non-stop during the Juvi phase, and once I hit adolescent, I started to record only when I heard footsteps or animal calls or people fighting. Basically, if I know I'm not alone, I'm recording. As I mentioned previously, every time I hit record on OBS, I would also record on the replay tool. The following comments were posted under a community post that I made where I was asking you guys to leave your questions for this breakdown video. The first comment at the top is not a question, but I still want to talk about it because it's the most touching comment I ever received on any of my videos. This person says they were in the hospital for 3 months with doctors saying they had 70% chance of not making it through. And then follows to say that my videos helped cheer them up while they were hospitalized. As a content creator, comments like these, it doesn't get better than that. This is the most rewarding type of feedback that a content creator can ever hope to receive. To be told that my videos helped someone through a rough time is leaving me speechless. All I can say is that I'm super happy that you're finally out of the hospital and you can finally put this behind you. And I'm really flattered to learn that my videos have helped cheer you up while you were there. I got no words. My biggest hope now is that you remain healthy and you never have to go through this again. The next person wants to know why I use the claw attack predominantly in most fights, and goes on to ask if it has something to do with the small bleed chance. Now, I'll be honest, I had no idea there even was a bleed chance. There wasn't much thought that went into my decision to make the claw attack my main weapon. The deciding factor was simply that it's the Metri's highest damage attack. There wasn't much cooldown between attacks and it deals more damage than other attacks, so it just felt like the way to go. I was really happy to have the bite attack when I had raptors attached to me, and my tail, of course, when something was behind me, but the claw simply does more damage, and I genuinely saw no reason to use anything else in most situations. The next person says their comment is not a question, and then goes on to inform me that running to the water is a good strategy to get rid of raptors once they pounce on you. This is true, but right from the start, I learned that with the Metri, you can turn your neck and bite them while they're attached to you. This felt like the better strategy for several reasons. My bites deal more damage than theirs, so if I'm the same age or older than they are, this gives me the advantage. On top of that, I was spamming spacebar to try and shake it off, which was forcing them to spend more stam to remain attached to me. On top of that, once I had the putrid scales ability, they were poisoning themselves every time they bit me. So not only were they losing stam from me shaking them off, they were also losing stam from the poison, and they were also taking damage from my bites. Keeping them on me was better than trying to get rid of them in the water. Not to mention that running to the water puts me at the mercy of crocs, spinos, sucos, megs, conks, and even possibly the occasional urino and kaiwekia. Now, this last question came in a bit late, but since I was still in the process of editing this video when it came in, I decided to make room for it. It's a pretty good question, actually. So, Zedbird wants to know if, when I'm editing, do I already have an idea of what I want to do, or do I just go in with a blank canvas and get the ideas as I go? Then goes on to give the example of the scene where I rewind and go back to an already completed scene to show what happened with the other dinosaurs. So the answer is, it's a little bit of both. When I started working on this video, I knew I wanted to give it the look and feel of a real movie. I knew I wanted to show more of the traveling and more encounters through cinematic scenes, and I knew I wanted to do my best to show fights from different angles. Everything else just came to me just as I went. Sometimes I get inspiration right away, but most of the time I have to just start putting things down in the timeline, and then as I start to piece things together, then that's where the ideas start to pop up. Then once I start adding the music to a scene, then that's usually where everything just clicks. Now for the rewind scene, that idea came to me just after I was done editing the fight and managed to escape and hide from the Meg. Once I got there, I thought it would be really cool if I could just go back and show what happened with the Rex and the other Meg. From there, I just had to decide how to go back, and I chose to simply make it look like an old school rewind. Now, from my personal experience, trying to plan everything ahead just drives me insane, because if I try, I can get stuck on a lot of things for a long time before I even get the slightest bit of inspiration. Whereas if I just start putting things down and put them together, then the inspiration comes way easier, and then I can just go with the flow. Hopefully this answers your question. Alright, so that's all for questions. Now I'm going to share my personal thoughts on the Metri. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about it. As a balanced Metri, the speed felt really good. I wasn't the fastest thing out there, but I was among the fastest. The stamina pool was also really good. I know I said at some point in the video that stamina wasn't good, but that was after reaching adult, or no, I think I was about to reach adult. And I was comparing it to what it had been while growing up. It's true that the stamina was way better as a younger Metri, and once reaching adult, there was a very noticeable difference, but it was still reasonable. Yes, you will need to pay attention to your stamina, and sometimes you'll have to make a choice between, do I keep chasing my target and risk running out of stam, or do I stop and cut my losses just so I can keep some stam in case something bigger shows up? I personally would recommend to try and never drain your full stamina pool no matter what. The damage was reasonable, but nothing crazy. I certainly did not feel OP as far as damage was concerned, considering I wasn't able to finish off a Rex that was almost like, it was pretty much dead. And then I did almost nothing to the lamb, and when I fought the Anno, I was a full-grown Metri, and the Anno was only an adolescent, and I couldn't do anything to it. I have to admit I was surprised by how much damage I was able to take though, as a balanced Metri. There are a few times where I had expected to take lots of damage and it ended up being very little. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that I did not feel too fragile, and if you add that to my ability to heal myself, let's just say I didn't feel too nervous around anything. Overall, I'd say the Metri felt like a dino that rather than being really good at one thing and then bad at other things, it's a dino that's just decent at everything. If you play your cards right, you should be okay in most situations and very rarely feel hopeless. But then on the other hand, it's also not a dino that will make you feel superior to everything else. When you're hunting something, you will have to work for it. I mean, unless you're hunting a baby, of course, which isn't even worth mentioning. So that does it for my thoughts. Now let's go to some slightly more interesting things, and let me share some things with you guys that we never would have known without the replay tool. Alright, now it's time for me to reveal that dirty little secret I was talking about earlier. And like I said, this is something that I never would have known without the replay tool. The replay tool makes it possible to toggle name tags on and off. And when you do, you also get information such as age of the dinosaur, as well as how much HP it has. Once I found out, I went back and rewatched some of the fights because I was very curious to know how much damage I had done to some of those dinosaurs, or how much HP each attack was dealing to them. Now, while rewatching those fights with the name tags on, I learned that this Sarco right here from HT was the same person who played this Lambio once again at HT. And then this T-Rex, which is the Rex that I tried to finish off right after it had killed the Trike, once again at HT, is the same player who played this duck, which I came across several times, and oddly enough, this is also the same player who played this other duck. Knowing this now confirms what I said in the video about those players being friends, because they were always spotted very close to each other and they were always biting each other but would never go for the kill. I never would have guessed they were the same people because I met the Croc and the Rex on the Saturday, and then the Lambio and the Duck were on the Sunday, and there were several server resets in between some of those encounters. Now, I'm kind of wondering if they knew that I was the same Metri every time, or if they thought I was a different one each time. I guess the only way we'll find out is if they end up watching this video. Now, by the way, guys, yes, during the video, I wanted those dinosaurs dead. I really wanted them dead. But let's all remember that this is just a game. Yes, they play dirty, but it's just pixels interacting with pixels. So no, I don't feel any frustration towards those players. And if they do end up watching my videos, they are welcome to comment. All I have to say to them now is GG. I never got to kill either of you, and you never got to kill me either, despite the many attempts on both sides. I'm sure you both wanted me dead just as much as I wanted you dead. You guys were great rivals, and you both helped add some spice to the video, so thank you for that. So like I said, feel free to comment if you end up watching this. I'm very curious to find out what went on in your minds as all of this was going on. Alright, in this next and last segment, we're gonna replay some of the most iconic fights from the movie, but we'll have the health bars on, and then I'll be commenting and sharing some thoughts in real time as we're watching it happen. Alright, so we're gonna start here with this was the first fight in the video. It's the one where I am hunting this Deinonychus. And this is happening in HT. So we're gonna turn on name tags, and this is telling us it's a juvenile female. Oh, it's a Latin? Really? Oh, I thought for sure this was a Dano because of how small it was and the colors too. I thought for sure that was a Dano. Huh. This is the first time I actually turn on name tags for this fight, so I'm discovering this at the same time as you guys. So let's press play, remove this, and just let it play out. It's hard to see because the names are overlapping, but clearly I'm doing way more damage to it. It was doing some decent damage to me as well, but I was doing more damage per bite than it was doing to me, and we were both biting each other, and it was latched on to me. So I think the Metri is just really good at countering raptors that are latched onto it, just because the Metri is able to just turn its neck and bite them. It becomes almost the same as a face tank battle, and since the Metri is bigger than the Latin, it has the advantage. So yeah, we'll move on to the next fight now. All right, next we're going to check out the fight against the Suko. Of course, that's the fight where we got interrupted by pretty much everything else that was in the zone, but I want to see the part where I'm fighting the Suko. I want to see what kind of damage I'm doing to it. Did I turn this on? Yeah, okay, these are set up. Let's turn on name tags. So it turns out we were both adolescent, so again, should be a fair fight. Okay, let's start this. Yeah, so I hit it 3 times to do the same amount of damage that it did to me in 1 hit. That's about all the damage I got to do to it, because then I got attacked by this thing. Now this is my healing call, I think. Now you can see my HP regenerating. I'm gonna swim and go around, come back the other side. Yeah, now I'm full health. I think it hit my tail, that's why it did almost nothing to me there. Pretty much still full. I know at some point I'm face tanking it. Like I'm just going like, I can't escape. Let's Let's try to do as much damage as I can to it. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm almost dead. And I took, I don't know, maybe 1/6 of its HP right there. Maybe even less than that. Suko's back. It's healed some of the damage. Yeah, then I'm almost dead. But I did manage to hurt the two birds. Now I'm dead. Hang on. Let's pause this. So I managed to hurt this bird, which is a subadult male. And I was an adolescent at that point. So this is the damage I did to that bird. And then this is the damage I did to that bird, which is an adult female. Wow. So adult and subadult. And I mean, if you add this damage and this damage together, if I did all of that damage on just one of them, I would have taken maybe half of its HP. And if I played smart and I was only fighting that bird, it's just hypothetical at this point. Okay, I'm just creating scenarios in my head. But if it had been just a fight, me against one of those birds, and I played smart and I danced around it instead of trying to face tank it like I did earlier, then I could have chipped away at it and dodged their beak for a while. You know, with some luck and some skill involved, I guess an adolescent Metri could potentially take on a bird. And in a place like this where it's hard for these birds to take off, yeah, I think a one-on-one would have been possible. You see, this is the kind of thing you never would have been able to analyze without the replay tool. So it lets me create super cool movies, and on top of it, it helps me learn things like these. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. All right, so this is the fight where this Rex right here kills this Strike in kind of a backstabby, kind of dirty way. But I mean, to be fair, this Rex is friends with this Croc right here, but I didn't know that at the time. Now, this Rex tried to attack this Spino. This Trike came in between to try and protect this Spino. So the Croc came from behind like that and then tried to come and finish off the Spino. The Trike sees it. I'm on a rock somewhere over here. Hang on. Yeah. Is that me? Yeah, I think I'm on my way there because I saw the Croc attack the Spino, so I'm on my way to try and help. So anyway, the Trike sees it. It's gonna come and attack the Croc. And then as soon as that Trike turns around, this Rex comes and backstab it. Kills it. At the end of all of that, I try to finish off this Rex. You guys who saw the movie probably will remember that scene. I want to see how much damage I'm doing to the Rex. All right, so let's start this. Here we have the Trike. And then me trying to help. I get hit by the Trike. Pretty sure it was unintentional, but now we have the showdown between the two apexes. I think the Trike would have won if not for the fact that the Meg helped. But now the Meg is also very badly damaged. And now I'm there looking at the Rex like it's my next meal. I think that was the call that's meant to weaken it and reduce its damage. And that's the healing call, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's the healing call. You see, I'm chipping away very slowly at it. I can't trade damage with it. And with the position it has right now, it's really hard for me to try and hit it without getting damage back. Now this Meg was already very badly damaged, but I think in a face tanking match, I think the Metri would win against the Meg. At least a balanced Metri against whatever subspecies that Meg was. I think I was trying to get rid of the poison. Oh, sorry, the venom. Now the Picno's coming to help out. The Picno's in the same position as me. It's hurt. And he can't really afford to trade damage with the Rex. But it's hard to hit it and not trade. Oh, then again, it's me against the Meg. I think this is the part where I come after the Meg. Yep. I came so close to killing it. So close. It just always managed to escape. That was very annoying. Now I'm going up there to rest. Get rid of the venom. Then I come back. Now here I will hit the Rex. I know I will. So let's see what kind of damage I'm doing to the Rex when I come back. I hit it once or twice. I can't remember exactly. And obviously the Rex is slowly healing when we're not hitting it, so I'm trying to go in when its attention is somewhere else. But yeah, look at the amount of damage I'm getting versus what I'm doing to it. Now that's another Meg. It's not the same one. The other one is there. So now I got the two Megs on me. And this is where I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't have a choice. But again, imagine if I had my healing ability at that point. Now the Megs are, well, one of them is running after me. The other one laid down. They're both almost dead. Imagine if I had access to my healing call for that fight against the Megs. I would have won, I'm pretty sure. Now I'm in a position where one more hit and I'm dead, so I could not trade with this Meg anymore. Anyways, that's gonna be the end here, but yeah, it gives us an idea what kind of damage I can do versus what kind of damage they can do. And that guy's an adult. I'm not even an adult. And I say guy, I don't even know. Yeah, that's a male. I'm a sub-adult. That Meg is an adult, and I was winning any day of the week. So in my mind right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my mind right now, the Metri is superior to the Meg. And obviously the Rex, I never stood a chance. I never could have finished it. I probably needed to hit it, I don't know, maybe 10-15 times to finish it off. And he only needed to hit me like 2-3 times to kill me. So yeah, I never stood a chance. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. All right, now this is the fight where I'm just walking this way, and then there's the lamb over there. And as soon as it spots me, it charges me. Now, just a reminder, I did mention this is the player that played the Croc that died or got killed by the trike in like at the beginning of that fight. Set name tags. I just want to see what kind of damage I do to it. The anno in the back is completely irrelevant to this fight. Wow. I don't even know if I did anything to it there. That tail hit though. Oh yeah, okay. So this is one scratch to that lamb. Okay, this is 2 scratches. And I'm almost halfway. 2 tail. That's 2 tail hits and 2 scratches. Yeah. Metri doesn't really stand a chance because the lamp can hit me from the front. It can hit me from the back. And then from the side, it just needs to turn and it can hit me. It's almost impossible not to trade. So I think it's fair to say that it would require several Metris to be able to take down a lamb that size. It is possible not to trade, but the timing has to be perfect every single time. Now I'm running away because at that point, I didn't know they were friends. By the way, this duck was the T-Rex earlier, and then this lamb was the croc. So they're the 2 same friends playing together again. But at that point, I saw the duck. I thought I would run towards the duck. I thought the lamb would follow me, and I was hoping that the duck would attack the lamb. That's the thought process that went through my head. But obviously, I had no idea they were friends. Anyways, moving on to the next one. All right, so this is the fight against the Ano. The fight's about to start here. I'm trying to stalk it. I know I can hear it. It's somewhere in here. Actually, it's right there, by the way. It was coming back, and then that's where we kind of like the Ano actually got scared. It got startled, and I'm like, okay, let's go for it. Adolescent Ano, and yeah, wait till you see. I never stood a chance. All right, so let's play it. So it just broke my bones there. That didn't do much damage. Actually, I did pretty much the same damage to it that it did to me. But here I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Almost nothing. But I know it's hunkering down. I've never played Ano. I don't know exactly the mechanics of how it works. But I know when they hunker down, they take less damage. I might be able to kill a baby that's hunkering down, but an adolescent? Nothing I can do against that. And then that smash thing they do with the AoE damage, that's insane. I can't even approach it without getting hit by that, and I'm taking a lot of damage from it. It's insane the amount of damage I'm taking. When the Ano was moving, I was dealing enough damage that I could have killed it, but all it has to do is hunker down and smash its tail on the floor, and there's nothing I can do. If I approach it, I get hit. There you go. I got hit again, even on my way out of it. I got hit again. I think this AoE damage is overpowered. That's my opinion. The damage it deals is a lot. It's an adolescent. I'm an adult, and I'm taking a lot of damage from it, and there's no way to dodge it. If you want to give somewhat of a realistic experience, a tail should be dodgeable, but these smashes on the floor, all you got to do is smash your tail on the floor and you hit me automatically. I don't know. This is the amount of damage I did to it. Now it's starting to move. And I think it's because it's starving. Because after a while, like very soon, it's going to start going for melons. And it just keeps going for melons. Every chance it gets, it just goes for melons and starts eating. And I also think it has no more stam to smash its tail, so that's why it started moving like that. If it had been moving the whole time, I might have been able to hit it and kill it. I just want to see if I can get some damage done to it while it's moving. Yeah, okay. You see, I did way more damage there because it wasn't hunkering down. Actually, I might show the whole fight. It's almost over anyway. It's really starving at that point. So maybe over time I could have starved it. I just think it's a dirty way to play. Like it's not my play style. I get no satisfaction from starving a dinosaur. It's just it's a cheap way of winning. If I can't win with skill, then I don't really care about winning. I think that's the point where I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm done. So this is the damage I did to it. Most of it happened because it wasn't hunkering down anymore. The fact that I could not approach it without taking damage, and the way that, and I'm not blaming the player. I have nothing but respect for that player. We had a pretty lengthy conversation, him and me, after that fight, and GGs were exchanged and stuff. Like, it was a very nice person. I have nothing against that player. Nothing. I just want to make that clear. I just think the Anno itself is now like a no skill dino. You just have to hunker down and smash your tail on the ground, and you're gonna win any fight, basically. All you gotta do is smash your tail on the ground. There's no skill. You don't need to try and aim at your target. You don't need to time your attacks much. You can't miss. So if you can't miss, it's a no skill dino. It's as tough as a brick wall, and it hits like a truck, and you can't miss. I'm a skill-oriented player. What can I say? Anyway, let's move on to the last fight. It's against the Sarah. All right, the last fight I want to go through here is the one against the Sarah. So the Sarah is just approaching this ant hill right there, and I'm in the back there about to come and attack it. Sarah is a sub-adult, and I am an adult. I'm doing decent damage to it, but watch what happens when it starts to... One hit. That's 2 hits. 3 hits. I'm halfway. Now here, that's my healing call. So I'm trying to heal myself, and then the Sarah goes to hide here. Now I'm going to cut out that part because that's the part where the Sarah went to hide, and I'm just looking everywhere. It's just funny because I went running that way. The Sarah was like, yep, that's my cue. It just ran that way. So it cut out the I couldn't see it. When I turned around, it was still walking towards that bush, but by the time I got here and I could see, it was already hiding. So his timing was perfect. It was just very funny. Anyway, I'm just gonna cut out that part and bring it back to where I find the Sarah. I'm about to find it here because at that point I'm like, if I could not hear it running, that means it can't be far. So it has to be hiding somewhere here. And then I thought this is the only logical place. So that's how I found it. So that's 2 hits on me right there. And it's almost dead. Sarah's charging a bite and I'm just like, yeah, one more hit and it's dead. So I'm trying to, like, I don't really care if it hits me at this point. Sarah's gonna charge another bite. I'm just gonna go face to face with it and finish it. Boom. I knew I could take that hit. But yeah, so it took me down to, hang on, let me press pause. So the first time we fought, it took me down to about here. And then I healed completely. And then it took me back down to like halfway. So that Sarah definitely killed me. If I didn't have the ability to heal myself, that Sarah would have killed me. And that Sarah was a sub-adult. And I was an adult. So in a pure face tank battle where each player hits at the exact same time and only hit for the exact same amount of hits, the Sarah wins. But, you know, with the ability to heal myself and the ability to dodge some of those hits and the fact that I ambushed it and had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hits on it before it managed to hit me once, that gave me the advantage. That's how I won. So it really depends on circumstances, and it depends on skill level, and it depends on how much you know your opponent. But yeah, no, good job, Sarah, Latin legend. GG, 100% GG. That was a cool fight. It was cool as hell, and it was an epic finish. So you're like the final boss, which is a pretty cool status if you ask me. All right, so that was the last fight. Let's go for the outro now. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown video. I think it's better this way because we can cover things way more in detail, and the replay tool just adds so much that the breakdown deserves its own video. Still, same as for every other video, please share your thoughts in the comments. All feedback is welcome. You guys take care, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.